Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of Rack and Rod Chronicles. Like we said the other day in our Instagram post, we're going to do a little head-to-head on Basemap and ONX mapping software. We're going to do this, try to do this at least once a month. We're going to call this the 10-minute nitty-gritty. So it's going to be real quick, real straightforward, giving you basically the lowdown on both of these apps. So I'm going to real quick spin the camera around over to the desktop to cut short on time. Both of these apps are mobile applications, so they can be used on your cell phone when you're in the backcountry. And I will show you a little bit of the offline capability. Both can do offline save maps, so if you don't have cell service, you still can access your maps. So here we go. I'm going to bring you over to the desktop real quick. All right. So on the left, we have Basemap. On the right, we have ONX. We are a subscriber to both. And in the teaser, we did tell you that I would let you know here which app we actually use the most of. So ONX has been around for a few years now and pretty well known. They do a lot of sponsorships and things of that nature. Basemap's a little bit newer, but definitely not something to shake your head at. So, as you can see looking at the video just on your screen there, in the two maps, Basemap on the left obviously produces a much higher resolution map when you bring it up. Both of these maps are set at 200 feet, right here and right here. So obviously I could see a whole lot more. I get a little bit more area than I'm getting out of the ONX. And that's a big win for Basemap as far as clarity, information you're getting. You're in a remote spot, not familiar with the area. You can obviously see a whole lot more out of their map than you can out of the ONX. They both are a subscription service, so depending on what you're looking for is basically probably one of your deciding factors. However, with ONX, we are strictly on a one-state plan with them because of the expense. So for $30 a year, I get one state, which is Pennsylvania. And because we were using it mainly for our farm, for some scouting and things of that nature, is the reason we originally purchased ONX. With Basemap, we've only been using them for a couple months, but we have used them in different areas. And what's really nice is for that same $30, I'm getting the entire country, so I'm not limited to one state. So two big wins so far for Basemap. Obviously, $30 compared to all the other equipment you buy as a hunter or fisherman or backpacker, the less you have to spend on a mapping software, the better. Both include layers. I'm going to real quick go through some of these. So, excuse me. Layer library from ONX is pretty straightforward. You have a hunt, a water, and then they break it down by state. Again, with being only able to see Pennsylvania in my layers, you get our hunting units here in Pennsylvania, you get private landowners, government lands, ADA access, you can click on bear check stations, PA boating regulations. So there's some good information there, but it's not a whole heck of a lot when I'm paying $30 for just that state. As far as their other layers, as far as hunting, there are a few you can buy, which is Eastman's and Boone and Crockett, which shows trophy big game records. Not something I'm really needing on a map. I'm sure I can look that stuff up here sitting in the office, and if I know I'm going into a Boone and Crockett area where there's been some bucks, then obviously I'm going to scout a little bit harder. But I really don't want to have to pay for that information to show up on my map. As far as layers on Basemap, you get a whole bunch. Land, water, roads and trails, points of interest, wildfire, and timber cuts, and hunting and fishing. What's really cool with Basemap too is when I open the map, it automatically pops up in Google imagery with labels. I also have the choice of high-res satellite imagery, high-res with topo, the topo from Basemap, a fishing topo from Basemap, Fishing Satellite by Basemap, and Google Terrain, USGS. So there's a whole bunch more maps that are offered besides your standard topo, hybrid, and satellite, which is a heck of a feature. I'm also getting a lot more, because we do fly fishing, a lot more water features. So water depths, east and west coast, Gulf of Mexico, nationwide water access, nationwide fishing points of interest, which is super cool. So if you just happen to be going on vacation with your family and maybe you want to get a little fishing, you can pop that up real quick, figure out where, hey, I'm going to be right in this neighborhood, I'm going to, bring a rod just in case, and hopefully catch some good fish. The other nice part, because they are both mobile, you do have the ability to save offline maps. So with both of these, you could do it. There's a button excuse me, on the mobile app. It's a little bit easier to find both. And basically, you download the map off the application, save it, and you can open it up when you don't have cell service. Another downfall to ONX is, one, you're not getting as much area, and you're not getting as much high resolution as you are with Basemap. So again, another feature where if you have to spend money on it, you want to make sure you're getting the whole boatload of information that you can. One thing that ONX does offer that so far Basemap does not is, if you are using a handheld GPS, an inReach, anything like that from Garmin, you can buy a chip from ONX to put into your handheld unit. Now, I have had the ability to connect a wire to my handheld unit to my desktop and pull a map from Basemap into my Garmin. Excuse me. So, even though you have either one of these pieces of software, having that backup as far as a handheld or paper maps is still a good idea. We do it wherever we're hunting that's unknown territory to us. It's always good to have a backup to your backup. So even though ONX started off as kind of the king in the ring for map software, unfortunately, and here is the alluded to which app we're using more, Basemap has definitely stepped up, offers a whole lot more features with better clarity, better resolution, more information. You could still, on both of these apps, find property lines, ownership, which is definite. If you're hunting in a spot where you really are trying to get some permission, you can get some information on who the landowner is, always to make sure you're hunting legally and with the correct permission. And on both these maps right now, you can see that the white lines on the Basemap, those are parcel dividers, and the red lines on the ONX. Here you could see a whole bunch of typed names and labels, where on ONX I'm only picking up a few at the same distance. So if I close that out of the way, there's a whole bunch more information here if I needed to find that property owner, to contact them, whether I wanted to hunt that property, whether I shot game and it traveled onto their property. You always want to ask for that extra permission just to go in and get your game. So needless to say, I'm going to spin you back around here. We started off with ONX, and it is a great app, don't get me wrong, but Basemap has definitely stepped up and just kind of put them to the wayside a little bit as far as features. One of the really good things that I like about Basemap on the actual mobile app is it does give me temperature as soon as I open it, so I can see exactly what it is. Sure, your phone has that built into it, but sometimes it's not always correct. But whatever Basemap is using as far as temperature seems to be working really well, because it's always closer to what the actual temperature is than what my phone normally tells me from the weather app that's on there. So we hope that information was quick and informative, and like I said, we're calling this the 10-minute nitty gritty. We're going to give you as much information as possible in that 10 minutes and just be there. So check out next week. Next week we will not be uploading a video, obviously, with the holiday season. So we wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Shortly after the New Year, we will be traveling out to Indianapolis for ATA and then off to SHOT Show. So our next episodes 4 and 5 will be coming up from the shows, and 6 will be from SHOT Show. So we hope you guys are enjoying it. Check out our Instagram, our Facebook, and obviously click that little button on the bottom there for subscription to our channel. And we will talk to you guys soon.